Hello everybody, Garrett Collects here, back with another video. Today we are back with another Five Nights at Freddy's video. Today we're going over Shadow Freddy, Withered Freddy, and Original Freddy, plus the Endo for Five Nights at Freddy's Endo series, Wave 1. This is a very late review, all these are getting opened. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it, starting with the Endo, then we'll move on to Freddy, then we'll move on to Withered Freddy, then Shadow Freddy to end off the video. These Withered Freddy and Shadow Freddy will be built afterwards, after we review Freddy and go over the Endoskeleton. Then after that, we'll move on to the Withered animatronics after Freddy and the Endo. Without further ado, now let's get into it. Alright, to start off with Freddy's box here, as you can see, you have the orangish reddish lighting on the tint on Freddy. Five Nights at Freddy's with FNAF 2 background. Includes Endo 1 parts and Endo 1 and character parts. You have the little building section right here, glowing eyes, Freddy's eyes glowing, camera 4A, classic Freddy and Withered Freddy collector figure, power percentage, 1 set. Then on the left side of the box you have the same thing on the right, but you have this Freddy with the Five Nights at Freddy's logo. Same thing is on the opposite side. Then on the back you have all the ones you can collect. We have already reviewed Bonnie and Withered Bonnie, so if you want to check that video out, link in the description below. But for this video we have Classic Freddy, the next video is Classic Foxy, then it's going to be Chica to end off the series. But yeah, this is standard or newer version of Freddy. I think it's the older version because it has the plastic in front of it. All these Freddys do. But yeah. Includes pieces for 2 characters, Endo 1 Freddy, Endo, Freddy, and Withered Freddy. Endo series with all the ones you can collect. Get them before they get you. And here's another image of Freddy, the Celebrate poster and FNAF 1 background, Five Nights at Freddy's. Alright, now opening this up, get my trusty dusty blade, or X-Acto. Be careful when using this, just as FYI. Cut the tape. Alright, before we get into this cool box, I just want to mention you do get this very nice Five Nights at Freddy's pizzeria background. I don't know if it's hair in there or not. No, it's not hair. It's a cut. Okay. Besides that, got a nice FNAF 2 pizzeria background with a disco ball on the top. Really nice. Nice background imagery. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for the Endo series. Alright, to start off with Freddy Fazbear's Endo himself. I think these eyes are in wrong. Nope, they were almost in wrong, and I think I messed it up, but I don't know. No, they look to be fine, I can't tell. But you have the hinge jaw up here. You have a hinge at the jaw. And a ball joint at the waist. You have drop down hips. As you can see here, one's jaw already dropped down. You can lift it up if you can, maybe. I think mine's stuck. Yeah, mine is definitely stuck. But you do have drop down hips. If I can get this. Oh, it's already up. Okay. Drop down hips. You can have bends at the knee. Let's just flip this around how it should be. Bends at the knee. The foot is on a ball joint and a slight hinge, but mine looks kind of broken, maybe. Can't tell entirely, but you do have a little pivot you can use. Just a slight pivot that goes up a little bit. You can get this down without breaking anything. There we go. You can get this Endo in very nice poses. I will say that. You can get this thing in very nice poses. But currently for this video, it's just going to be like putting it on the Endo, putting the suit on the Endos. But yeah. Standard Endo series articulation. You can swivel this up and down. Well, like elbow pivot. No. Arm pivot, elbow pivot. I need to move this around actually. Arm pivot. No, it's backwards. Elbow pivot. Yeah, elbow pivot. Hands can turn. Hands can go at a 360. You can do the Iron Man pose if you want to. The heads have a swivel. Just be very careful with this because this is it's wave 1 of the Endo series, so you might not get the best quality from these to start off with, but if you get the newer series, it will depend on what copy you get. I mean, I'm trying not to break these or, had to oil them or whatever to make them work. But yeah, Pretty nice articulation. Not much to go over. You can make them do with splits if you want to. Or you can keep them like this. They are posable, like really posable, and they can hold up their own weight pretty well as well. And on the back, you just have more continuation of the black endoskeleton part. And you do have a black jaw for Freddy. And Freddy does have his blue eyes. And you do also have black painting around the eyes. I don't know if this is an error or not, but there's a little bit of glue in there. Probably not. The eyes do look a little chipped, and they do have a little bit of excess glue on here. Or excess plastic. I can't really tell. I think it's excess glue. Yeah, I'm not going to tamper with that. Looks like it's chipping the endo. Yeah. I mean, the eye paint job is a little bit sloppy on mine, but these are probably the best figures we're going to get at the moment. Best accessible figures at the moment, so I'm not going to complain too much. And yeah, enough rambling. Let's move on to the Freddy Fazbear himself. And I might do a time lapse for just basic Freddy, but then we'll just move on from there. Today we are going over the Five Nights at Freddy's Freddy Fazbear Endo series with Withered Freddy. Without further ado, let's get into it. And before I make this whole yap session, I do have the endoskeleton partially footage on here. My finger started bleeding, so I couldn't really show the whole thing because I needed to get a band-aid at the time. It's still pretty bad. Like the Freddy one is so hard to build. It really is. Like, just disclaimer, it will cause your finger to turn a little bit red or bloody, either one. But yeah, now, with that out of the way, I do have the endoskeleton footage review on here, so let's without further ado, let's move on to the actual suits themselves. Alright, now starting off with Freddy Fazbear himself, the main star of the show. We're going to go on to details and articulation and go from there, and with Withered Freddy we're going to do the opposite. Alright, to start off with Freddy's feet, as you can see here, he has paw pads. These are hollowed out so you can fit a stand on them, and so you have like a little bit of leverage for the movement. You have very slight rubber. I will say that, but you gotta be really careful with these because these could melt over time depending on how hot or cold your room is, warp, or something worse. You do have a lighter orange. His whole body's like a orangish brown. He should be a dark brown and I guess territorial beige, or just a beige in general, or like an orangish brown. I don't know exactly. I'm looking at the plush and I can't really tell. I mean, he should be like dark brown and light brown, basically. Dark brown and brown, basically. And I do have a complaint with how he looks. I will get to that in a second. You have his base standard belly, black bow tie. It is molded on. I will say he should have had texture, a lot of texture, because he's a main star of a show himself. He shouldn't be this playful, I guess. Especially because it's Freddy Fazbear. He's never seen without the eyelids. He looks way too cartoonish. But yeah, especially with the mouth closed, he looks way too friendly mouth closed. You have free black speckles painted on for the, what's this called, freckles. Black nose, black top hat, no painting inside the ears, just a hollowness up to dark colors. Silver for the endoskeleton. Be careful with these could be kind of flimsy over time. Black nose, blue eyes. You are able to take this off and put the endo head in here. I'm going to do this once and once only for the endoskeleton. Once and once only for the endo. As you can see here, you can take these pieces apart and you get a little Freddy head in there. I'm not going to take this off, actually. But yeah, I will say the articulation is hindered a lot by this endoskeleton being placed on, the suit being placed on the endoskeleton. But you still get drop down hips. Those are still acquired. You can make them do the new modernish Golden Freddy pose. The new Golden Freddy pose if you want to. You can make them sit down. You can make them wave. The joints are kind of hindered at times because these are wave 1 joints, so they're not that great, I would say. Same with wave 2. You're still figuring out the joints. I mean, the secure reach ones are probably the best at the moment, but like I haven't yet to buy those, so I can't really disclose that just yet. But from what I've seen, they look pretty nice. And you do have a movable jaw, which is really cool. But like I will say, with the black top hat, his mouth closed, he looks way too friendly. Freddy is not this friendly in the game. And he should be a dark brown color, plain and simple. If they ever re-release this, they should definitely give him a dark brown color. And get rid of this, like, you know, too friendly looking, honestly. He has the black eyebrows too, those are 3D as well. But yeah, he should definitely have, like, his eyes are highly accurate. I will say that his eyes are highly accurate. They're really well made and really well painted. But like, he needs those sockets. He definitely needs those sockets in his eyes, because he looks way too friendly in my opinion. Here is Freddy Fazbear Endo series compared to his in-game counterpart, as you can see right here. Alright, I'm going to be extremely lazy here and get Blacklight Freddy. Yeah, he's the closest one to me at the moment. Here is Endo series Freddy compared to the Funko Blacklight Freddy. There's a huge thing missing. You can probably tell what it is, but he's missing his microphone. He should have it, or at least a cupped hand to hold the microphone later. But yeah. And probably larger hands as well, because these hands are kind of tiny. They're like Funko scale, I would say, just open. But these are still phenomenal. This is still a phenomenal figure. He just looks way too cartoony, in my opinion. For Freddy himself, I'll probably give him like a 7 out of 10, honestly. He's just as bad as like Withered Bonnie, honestly. Well, maybe to not that extent, but he's like on par with Withered Bonnie. He looks way too kid-friendly for what he is. He's supposed to be an aggressive brown bear. But yeah, a 7 or 8 out of 10 is not bad, honestly. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Alright fellas, next up is Withered Freddy, and I'm just gonna breeze right through this right now, right here, right now. All these suit pieces, for the most part, have like fully 3D indentations, except for Foxy. We'll get to him when we get to him. But yeah, all these animatronics for the Endo series have really nice holes in them. And they do have some dirt washing as well. I mean, some of it is kind of poor at times, so it's mainly on the back, and some of the World Up series. You get really nice holes in these Endo series. It just depends on the paint quality, honestly. He looks phenomenal. He looks spot on to his original in-game counterpart, which we'll get to right here. But yeah, he looks phenomenal. I just wish he was a brown and this light orangish brown color. Like just standard brown and light tutorial beige, or just beige in general. I mean, this orange does fit well for him, because his color is kind of undetermined in game. But yeah, he does need feet paw patterns, though, honestly, because like I know this is supposed to be a reuse. Well, I know it's not a reuse, actually. I thought this was a reuse. No, Fred, this is okay. Did not know that. Anomaly here. He does not have paw pads on his feet. He does not at all, compared to Withered Bonnie. This is just full new, brand new figure. Minus the pelvis. Probably. But yeah, this guy's insane. He looks highly accurate to his in-game model. And he has a whole like open and closing jaw mechanism. I love that feature so much. You can give him his FNAF 2 pose, which I have him in right now. He has a lot of dirt washing, really nice dirt washing, and like dirt washing on the Endo as well, which I'm not going to take all this off to show the Endo. Y'all should know what it looks like by now. I'm going to be breezing right through these next two FNAF 1 reviews, Wave 1 reviews before we get to Wave 2, which is Wave 2 I'm still incomplete on. Missing Toy Freddy and Toy Chica, the bird and the bear, unfortunately. But yeah, overall, you still do get nice articulation. You can like bend his leg back depending on how well you do this. You can give him like a running position, even though he has some trouble standing at times. A running position, like he's chasing after the night guard, or you could give him like, you know, you can give this guy really cool poses, honestly. Really nice dynamic poses, and he looks very nice, honestly. This kind of looks kind of weird, honestly, because he's kind of bent too far over. He looks like he's squatting too much. But you can do that if you want to, or you can like give him the Golden Freddy pose as shown earlier. Modern day Golden Freddy pose, I guess. You can also like do that. You can bend him in every which way. You can move his arms. You get really nice articulation. You can also probably do a JoJo pose too. I'm not gonna show on here, honestly, but you get really nice, articulation with this guy. I don't know how many more times I had said this enough, but yeah, you have really nice dirt texturing on here, and you have holes in the back, which really wasn't necessary, especially for the back part, because you're not really gonna see that. But yeah, I mean, overall, minus this joint right here, this one barely clutches. This is a phenomenal figure, and let's get Withered Bonnie for comparison, because I have reviewed them, link in the description below. Let's compare them to the originals. Alright, now this is Dynamic Duo DX. Deluxe Dynamic... I cannot talk. Now this is Dynamic Duo Deluxe. Honestly. That's a Mario reference if you don't know what it is. But yeah, these guys look phenomenal together. And he fell down. But yeah, these guys look phenomenal together. I do love how Withered Bonnie looks, even though he's slightly inaccurate. You can get him in really nice stances. Withered Freddy has oddly more holes than Withered Bonnie. Rephrase that. More hollowed holes than Withered Bonnie. Withered Bonnie has like a standard arm, ripped arm, and stuff like that. But I would say I would recommend Freddy more than Bonnie. But if you want all characters, you could definitely get Bonnie as well. Even though Withered Bonnie is kind of mid. Not too mid, but at least a 7 out of 10 in my opinion. Withered Freddy is like an 8 out of 10 or above. Excuse me, not 8 out of 10. What am I thinking? He is flat out a 10 out of 10. I love how he looks. Yes, the colors are inaccurate, but this is probably as good as we're going to get with Withered Merch at the moment. And if you're a FNAF fan, I highly suggest getting this. And I'm going to wait. I haven't even got to my thoughts yet. Alright, now how would I rate these two out of 10? Honestly, I would give the Freddy Fazbear Wave 1 Endo series probably a 9 out of 10. Hear me out. I know the colors are wrong. I know that they don't have any texture, but this is as good as we're going to get with opening mouth action figures and actually having the Endo to play with and actually the Endo to place stuff on. Like, this is rare for FNAF merch. Usually FNAF merch is shitty, honestly. Usually. There is some outliers like McFarlane Toys, Funko if they lock in. Most of the time they don't, but if they lock in Funko, and that's probably practically it. McFarlane Toys and Funko. I can't really think of another one. Tubs technically, but they're more stylized. Jazwares is really good, which is the company we're going over right now. Jazwares is phenomenal. They made high quality plushies, and I'm not sponsored or endorsed by any of them anyway. Sponsored or endorsed by any way. Just letting you know that right now. All these reviews are raw. I'm not trying to glaze these guys either. Yeah. Phenomenal figures. I'm gonna say this is absolute Fazbear, honestly. These guys are so amazing, even though they made my thumb bleed. These are still good figures. They really, really are. If you want these, I suggest buying them soon, because I don't know how much these guys are gonna last much longer, because we're already on Series 4? No, wait, Series 3. We're on Series 3 Security Breach, and I don't see these lasting much longer, potentially. Because, I think I don't want to go into Jazwares drama, but Aaron's not in the company anymore, so we can't really know what's going on if we're going to cancel Wave 1 or not after a certain period of time. Or discontinue Wave 1. It's going to happen eventually, we just don't know when. But they need to keep a core 4 around, honestly. Especially Chica and Foxy. Those two are so hard to find, which I'm very grateful I have for the next 2 reviews. But yeah, overall, I rambled way too much in this video. So basically, how do I rate these guys out of 10? 9 out of 10. I love these guys a lot. These are spot on FNAF figures, minus Freddy's eyes, OG Freddy's eyes, and their colors. But overall, phenomenal figures, and I would have to give these guys, I'm repeating myself, a 9 out of 10. As I stated before, this is probably as good as we're going to get for now. We need to cherish what we have for now until they goof up with recolors. Probably a bad example because these were Black Friday exclusives. But trust me, you do not want to have these again. Trust me. Rehash after rehash, recolor after recolor. We should be happy that we have Jazwares and they're actually going by game. Going for the games and for the fans for the most part. Minus the AR skins, but some of that can be controlled, some of that can't. But yeah. Some of it's decided by Scott. But I would say the Christmas and Halloween skins. The Halloween skin should have been Dreadbear. That's all I'm gonna say. At least, hopefully, they still have it in the bucket for later, like a final wave or like near final wave thing. We can always do it next year before we have our license potentially, expiring or whatever. Or in 2 years' time, But these guys are hard to obtain. I highly suggest getting them if you're able to. If you need to, I don't recommend it. Buy from a scalper. Just don't pay over $65. These are worth $30 in store now because everything's getting upcharged because of these greasy scalpers. But yeah, I would highly suggest buying these for like $40-50 max. No more than 50. And that's not including shipping. I suggest paying more than 50 for these. No more than 50 for these because these have been out for a while. They have had a lot more stock than usual. But yeah. I really do greatly like these. These are a lot better than Funko. They're not as brittle. They're not as cheap. Action figures, they don't break like a glow-in-the-dark Foxy, and that's $1,000 figure, which I'm still working on fixing. I just gotta like boil them and re-glue them basically. Yeah. These guys are fantastic. I'm sorry for repeating myself so much, but yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye.